let's get into the economics of it again. And you were going to say, Jonathan?
Well, when you're asking the question, what do people do? And Mark says it's the same problem as like everyone else. Where do I go? The computer's not working right. And this is typically after they bought a piece of software, a box, sold in a big store. So you have your big box and a lot of promises, and the box says it's going to do this, that, and the other wonderful thing for you. And the interest, of course, from the company is to sell you that, and then the annual update fee, which is all that is covered. Where is their interest in making sure it actually works? They've sold you the box. The only other time they're interested in is the next year. If their detection system says you're fine, saying we haven't found anything doesn't necessarily mean there isn't anything. So there is no motivation for them to do a better job other than to get that annual contract. If you're selling the stuff in a big box store and someone has an infected computer, even though they've had all this software in, you look at how much they're charging, and an on-site call to do this kind of tech support typically runs around $300 now from the major chains. That's for one visit, and typically 30 days is their warranty. So if you pick up another virus on day 31, they'll charge you another $300.
Wow.
So this is, when you're looking at what the subscription cost for Invisus versus one house call from one of the big box stores. You now have a warranty for, let's call it an entire year, because you're paying a subscription fee for the entire year, plus the cost of the software they put in, plus the cost of their setup fees, and their removal of everything else that's out there. The Invisus cost ends up being far less than one house call in an entire year.
Wow.
So there's your economics. Oh my goodness, I have to subscribe to something every month? Yeah, look at how much you're going to pay for one visit from one of the competitors.
Right. So
that's where this really shines.
Right. And so if you take somebody, I mean, hey, people might not have problems over a year's time. They may not. Chances are, though, that they are.
How do you know?
You don't know.
If your system is saying, I'm clean,
right?
Do you really know that? Because the detection systems and the stuff sold in the box stores is not the software that's being used by Invisus. This is the commercial grade stuff that's used by major corporations, government agencies. The stuff, I mean, you don't have people on major corporations going out to a local box store and buying a box of, name your little stuff. That's not what we're talking about. This is a whole different level of software that they are using and having access to, and until Invisus came along, nobody had done this on the small level. So they were the pioneers in bringing that top level enterprise grade software to the common man.
Enterprise grade, that's what I was getting at. That's where that
Retail,
enterprise grade,
commercial, enterprise.
So this is the top of the line.
Top of the heap.
Interesting.
Because they're giving the warranty, of course they're going to look for the best stuff.
And let me ask you, one thing we didn't touch on earlier, how long has Invisus been in business?
It's been 8 years.
Invisus has been in business for 8 years. For their first 4 years, they used a marketing model where they would use infomercials and trade shows to get business. And they got a lot of business, but 4 years ago, they went to the direct marketing or referral basis business approach, where individuals could have an add-on business or make it an entire business, to what they do. So you asked earlier, would everybody be a prospect for this? Well, basically, anybody who has a PC would, want to consider using the service. Not everybody would, like to have an additional business, but in these days of economic uncertainty, I can't understand anybody who wouldn't want a few hundred extra dollars on the low side, coming into their household every month. Could it make a car payment, an insurance payment, whatever? Yes. Do we do referral business all the time? Absolutely. John, if you go see a movie that you love or eat in a restaurant that you like, do you go home and be quiet about it? What do you tell a friend?
I just tell them about it. I mean, it's just an automatic type of thing. And the funny thing is that the person doesn't say, are you trying to sell me something?
Same here, and yet neither you nor I have ever gotten a check from a movie studio or a restaurant for doing
That's right.
land office business for them over the years.
Sure.
So that's what we've got going on here. It's an 8-year-old company. It's proven. It's debt-free. It's quality-oriented, and just doing the job.
Interesting. And you know, I think you guys probably know, you know, when people hear that thing, that MLM, they run for the hills. And you know, the point is that it's such a powerful mechanism to develop business, that when you have a product like this, I mean, this isn't some, I don't want to say any of the opportunities that are online, but you know, there's a lot of opportunities online that they're not brick and mortar businesses. This is a brick and mortar business that's using the MLM business model to promote and, you know, and sell their services and so forth. So,
and everything in this economy, MLM, network marketing, whatever you're going to call it, is network marketing. A farmer grows tomatoes.
yeah,
He sells it to a local distributor,
yeah,
who sells it to a national distributor, who sells it to a regional wholesaler, who sells it to the retailer, where you and I go in and buy the product and pay what? Top dollar for it.
Right.
Because it's been marked up so many times.
sure,
In the network marketing profession, you own a piece of the network.
right,
So when A refers to B, refers to C, refers to D, and you introduced A, you get a little piece of it all along the way. So it's really a great way to deliver products and services to individuals, because everyone benefits. Instead of spending massive amounts of money on advertising,
right,
you and I and other people like us have an opportunity to share in the revenues of the company without having to build the infrastructure. It's sort of like the People's Franchise.
yeah, that's great.
I want to add to this a little bit, if I could.
Sure.
Remember what I said earlier about the box, and that's really the limit of their interest?
Yeah,
Here, because it's a monthly subscription service, and because of the way the company is structured, every single person in the company has a vested interest to make sure that every single customer is happy every single month.
interesting.
Now, that is a benefit that a lot of people don't really think about on how this is done. You look at the traditional box. This is set up, there's a subscription, and I am, of course, have a vested interest to make sure that all of my subscribers stay happy.
Right.
And of course, everyone all the way up in the entire company has that same vested interest, and that guarantees performance.